visas to Australia from the Philippines. I've covered this topic before in blog articles, but it remains an issue. Understandable, because the Department of Immigration, which is now the Department of Home Affairs by the way, website makes it all look like a formality, and Australians are accustomed to being fairly in control of what they consider to be their business and assume it's every Aussie's right to get a visa to bring his Filipina lady to Australia from the Philippines. So the illusion of easy visas and simple tourist visa applications evolves fairly naturally. But then, fortunately, most Australians do appreciate the straight shooter who doesn't talk ball. So whilst down under visa disappoint many an over-enthusiastic Australian man in love, I think most still appreciate Jeff Harvey telling it like it is. And I tell people nearly every single day that we can't help them. We're not opportunists. We are registered migration agents, which means we are consultants who advise on Australian migration law. And we are duty-bound, like all professionals, to be truthful about the likelihood of success. The easy tourist visa application. This one probably is surrounded by the biggest collection of myths, probably because for Australians to go anywhere in the world it's not a big deal. Most countries for us Aussies don't require visas at all for short stays, and those that do, it's just a simple form. I went to Vietnam for a seminar a few years ago. A form, a fee and a few days. I think never even considered getting knocked back. Now the problem for Filipinos: overstaying, working illegally, working as waitresses, building sites, picking fruit, cleaning houses, and of course nasty things like prostitution and drug dealing. And in many cases it's the family members who do the inviting and give the assurances that their relative from the Philippines will do the right thing and return on time. Thus the high visa refusal numbers out of Manila. Let's interrupt what I've got here. Even today I had somebody requesting getting a tourist visa for their sister visiting. I said it would be difficult. The next response was, "Oh, how can I get her to Australia permanently?" I mean, what does that tell you? Apologies to that person if they happen to be watching, but it happens to be true. And we get the complaints of why we ask for so much documentation for just a simple tourist visa. I mentioned that to a client in the office the other day who said, "Tell them to ask me. 2 refusals, that's why I'm here." Yes, you may get away with a simple visa application for a tourist visa, but you have around a 1 in 4 to 1 in 5 chance of refusal. Now our success rate is 99% plus. That's why we ask a lot from you. You pay us for professional services and you will get a professional job done. Now, the 1-year tourist visa. I've also covered this topic before, but worthwhile covering again because the department website makes it look like you can just choose your length of stay, like choosing what size cornflakes packet to get, the big one, the small one, the medium one, 3 months, 6 months or 12 months. Now, yes, they will on occasions grant a 12-month stay for an elderly parent from the Philippines who is healthy and stable and unlikely to run off and start working, but for you to expect that they will grant a 12-month stay for your 26-year-old Filipina girlfriend is far from realistic. Now why? Because a tourist visa is for visiting. It's also called a visitor visa, and it's for people to visit friends and family and do tourist things. And no one takes a 12-month holiday. No, I don't. Maybe an elderly mum does, but under normal circumstances the average person doesn't get that much time off. Now the main issue is that you can't use a tourist visa to live together because you can't afford a partner visa application. Now I even saw a man once who filled out one of our assessment forms. He had applied for 12-month tourist visas for his wife and all his kids, and the reason on the application quoted as because the partner visa application is too expensive. Of course it was refused. Just because he was married with kids didn't change anything. The migration regulations of 1994, which contain the decision criteria are written into law, and they had no choice to refuse because he was applying for the wrong reasons. Now, the Department of Immigration, Home Affairs, I haven't quite got used to that one, their job. Now, their job, are they the one-stop visa shop? Service with a smile, dedicated to customer satisfaction? Hardly. Not knocking them, not at all. Their job is to guard Australia's borders, and they do a pretty thorough job. And this is why they refuse visa applications when not utterly convinced. And this is why Australia is not overrun with unlawful non-citizens, which is the correct term for what people call illegal aliens. And this is why Down Under Visa don't always say yes to every request for help with the visa applications. And this is why we're like cranky old school teachers who pick on you when your homework isn't perfect, because the ones who examine your visa applications are very strict and we don't want you flunking. So please understand that visas to Australia from the Philippines, they are grants, they are not rights. And understand why you can't just fly out here, meet your Filipina girl and then bundle her up and put her on a plane a few weeks later. I had another assessment just before who wants a partner visa prepared and granted in 3 weeks for a girl he met a few weeks ago online. And I hope he doesn't read this later and think I'm making fun of him. I'm most definitely not. Why would he or anybody know otherwise? Australian migration law was in print as like the old Sydney phone books. I don't know whether they still have phone books or not. I have no idea. And people expect to manage their own visa applications based on what's in those volumes. If the outcome matters to you, get some help from the experts in visa applications for Australian Filipina couples. Thank you. This video was brought to you by Down Under Visa, who specialise in visas for Australian Filipina couples. Please visit our website and complete a free visa assessment form. And please watch some of our other videos. Thank you.